we'll see what we got. All right, so second league today, Jund Shadow, but Jund Shadow with a little bit of a twist. One of our friends of the channel, DeftJad, go check out his stream, DeftJad. He plays ton of mid-range, ton of Thoughtseize decks in Modern. Highly recommend it. Very analytical individual. Presented the idea of using Stitcher Supplier in Jund Shadow. Some of the advantages here are being able to mill over things like Lurrus targets, grow Tarmogoyf. It's a good one-drop that synergizes with the rest of the deck, helps find Croxas, gets value out of these unearths, things like that. So we're going to see how it works out. It's kind of taking the place of Street Wraith, essentially. Like getting those extra card types in the yard, helping to fuel a little bit of our long-term game plan. Also, it's just a nice body, so if you get it down against like Burn, Prowess, chumping with it is not the worst thing in the world by any stretch of the imagination. So other than that, we're running a pretty typical Jund shell. Shadowed, Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Tarmogoyf, Scourge of the Skyclaves, Croxa, Battle Rage. Sideboard, Lurrus is our companion. We're also trying out 4 copies of Leyline of the Void, another Jad suggestion here. With the rise of decks like Dredge at the moment, having the unconditional Grave Hate that's free can be a benefit. We'll see how that plays out. Along with 3 copies of Damping Sphere for the Tron Menace, as we just saw last round. 2 copies of Collective Brutality, great against Burn, solid against Prowess. 2 Veil of Summer for the mid-range matchups. 2 Kozilek's Return for the Auriok champions running around. And yeah, I think that's about all of the major differences. So let's jump into our league and see what happens. My quick call to action, because I think I saw it on MTG Bot's got like 1 command regularly cycling, but it looks like it's missing the second one. So I gotta remember to jot that down. If you are enjoying the content, enjoying the commentary, feel free to hit the follow button. Doesn't cost you anything, just lets you know whenever we go live, so you can come check out the channel. Check out some sweet Death Shadow action. Also, all of our leagues are being individually loaded to YouTube. Our link to the YouTube channel is down below. We've also got a link there. So if you're ever wanting to see leagues of various Shadow builds, feel free to hop on over and check them out. Got to roll, so I'll check on the VOD, but good luck and hope that it goes well. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Hope that it goes well as well. But I'm optimistic. It looks like a sweet build. All right. Matt redeemed Hydrate. I got to go get some water. Forgot. Nobody reminded me. Alright, so Spire Bluff Canal Pass. Could be Storm, it could be Prowess. Steam Vents doesn't tell me much. Basically, if it was Storm, I'd rather lead on Inquisition here. If it's Prowess, I'd rather lead on Thoughtseize. Because if they've got a Stormwing entity, I'd like to get it out of hand as soon as possible. So it is Prowess. Which means I think I'm going to take a Manamorphose and plan on Fatal pushing this Brawl. What's the plan here? Inquisition into Remand. I could play Tarmogoyf into Remand. Guess Inquisition's like the slightly safer play. Bad Prowess draw. Not wrong. Well, I have to build a humans deck with Death Shadow to get you to accept the truest best deck in Modern. You will. You will, in fact. We're gonna make like a Shadow series of just jamming Shadow into other decks and seeing what happens. Like, oh, here's a blue-green Infect, splashing black for Death Shadow. Here's 5-color humans with nothing but canopy lands and Death Shadows. So, what are we looking for? Fetch land, land in general. Shadow and 8-rack. I think that's already been done, though, right? I feel like 8-rack has played Shadow in the sideboard multiple times before. Shadow and 8-whack. Now we're talking. So if they're unknown cards... Alright, I was going to say if they're unknown cards were like Ritual Gifts Ungiven, they could potentially kill us. But it does not look like that's the case. It was Ritual, though. So we get to take a Brawl, Fatal Push this Brawl, Kraken. They opt to opt. Mono Blue Shadow Tron. So we get Tron online on like turn 17 because that's what Mono Blue Tron does. We play a really huge Walking Ballista, shoot ourselves in the face like 10 times, and then play a Shadow off of like God, what, a star or sphere or something that we've just like, what's that land? Academy Ruins back like 4 times. But I think they have an answer to Tarmogoyf. Guess I can find out. Ooh, River of Tears, that's a good idea. I'm just gonna go for it. Has to be like exactly second Remand. Okay. They never see the Shadow coming out of the Tron deck. Like, my burn opponents are going to be shocked when they're sitting here like, yeah, bolt you, lava spike you, crack star for black, play Shadow. What? What? Come again? Alright. Well, we've got stuff to beat Storm. Like, a lot of stuff. Quote me when you will win a PT with that deck. Might be getting a little ahead of yourself on that one. Alright. Storm. Unearth is bleh. So I'm boarding out some amount of spot removal because they're likely boarding out some number of mana bears. I actually think I'm just not gonna bring in Leyline, honestly. Like, Leyline's fine, but I don't feel like I need it here. So we just naturally have a good matchup against them. And we're getting to throw in, like, Damping Spheres on top of that. K-Return just to protect ourselves from, like, Empty the Warrens a little bit. And usually post-board, they're trimming on, like, gifts and Past in Flames, things like that. For, like, what's that card? Pieces of the Puzzle. Just trying to play, like, a more value game. So I think this is fine. Electromancers, bye-bye. I mean, no Electromancers out of them. Agreed. Alright. So how do they scry? One bottom, one top. What do they put on top? Repeal. So I'm trying to figure out what my optimal lines are here to play around the things that beat my hand. So, for instance, I gotta change the stream title. So, for instance, his hand, like, is okay against Aria Flame. But if my opponent just turn 2s an Aria, I could be in a lot of trouble. So I've got the option to play around that by just, like, Thought Seizing right now. And curving into Tarmogoyf next turn. And if they play something like Baral, then I can potentially Stitcher Supplier plus Fatal Push instead. So I know they've got Repeal coming off the top. I could just take Manamorphose as like the best card in hand and rely on my 2 spot removal spells to take out the 2 Barals. And I don't hate that. Alright. This is Baral number 1. So let's go Stitcher Supplier, see what we flip over. We get a Kroxa. The plan is coming together already. Push a Baral, say go. The Serum Visions we didn't know about. Humans just got a Selfless Spirit. I haven't looked at many of the spoilers for today, so I'll have to check them out. Alright, how did they scry with Serum Visions? One top, one bottom. So we know we're attacking in with Supplier. Are we playing Tarmogoyf holding up Bolt? Or are we playing Damping Sphere here? I think we're playing Damping Sphere. So they can't repeal it into turn. Selfless Glyph or something. I'd have to see it. I don't know anything about it. Just get like a tapped stomping ground. Alright, so we could get back Croxa. We know 3 of their 4 cards. I think I'm actually into just like Tarmogoyf Pass. Kind of like gives the impression that I'm holding up Peatland. I assume this is like repealed Damping Sphere. Or gifts. Sure. So let's go. Got to think about their mana production. If they go Baral, would I rather have them have empty Past in Flames in hand? Like with Damping Sphere, I don't really care about either of these. But I also don't really care about either of these with Damping Sphere. So what does this setup look like? If I'd been empty and Past in Flames, and they untap with Repeal, Baral, Pyretic Ritual, second Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. They can't do anything until they've repealed the Damping Sphere off the board. So if they go Ritual, or no, if they go just like Baral Pass, and I Lightning Bolt Baral on their instep, and they don't have a 5th land, they can't respond with Repeal. So I think I'm just gonna take Ritual, and leave them with Past in Flames, empty the Warrens. Now, am I cracking Peatland? Yes. So, play Shadow. End of turn, they repeal Damping Sphere. Yep. Untap, play Baral. Yep. Cast Pyretic. That's a little bit worse for us. It's way worse if they have a second Ritual. So now they can pass in flames and get access to all the rituals out of their yard. Which is kind of what we were hoping to avoid. Or a second brawl. Alright. So we are pretty deterministically dead here. Yeah, seeing 3 brawls in the top 15 or so is it's pretty rough on our end. So, Veil's okay here. It's not great, but would I rather have Veil than, like, Scourge? Something like that. So this hand, like, snap folds to an Aria of Flame. I feel like I should ship it. This is better. It's not great, but better. Come on, fetch land. Not a fetch land. Kroxa is slow, but we'd have to think about, like, what would we board in over Kroxa. I hate the dual-sided cards and how they, like, add extra layers. Have to go to sleep now. Wish you all a good day. Good day to you as well. Thanks for coming and hanging out, as always. I could play out the Shadow here and just, like, get them to use this Abrade. I feel like I don't really have to. Yep. So I get second Abrade. What are they getting? Got Serum and Opt. Sure. Top with Serum Visions. That's terrifying. Does Veil stop gifts? Yes. Gifts does target. Also get the benefit of stopping, like, repeal. I'm kind of playing out the shadow here because they can abrade it, but it means that they're not doing anything else if they choose to do that. So we'll see if it ends up working out for us. Stitcher's Supplier indeed. Like 4 Stitcher Suppliers, 2 Unearth, Croxa in the main. It did flip over a Croxa in the one time we've seen it so far, so... Battle Rage off the top. Alright, what do I want to do here? I think I want to fetch and shock. Deal the 12. Or no, I want to... Yeah, deal the 12 is fine. Death Faust, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Sound like Will when I just said that? I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think that's a compliment. So we got ops on ops on ops. Pretty sure they like have to find a Baral here. All right. So I need 2 more rituals to go off with Past in Flames. But they could just like empty the warrens for a dozen zombies or a dozen goblins here, and that's fine. Aria of Flame does take out Shadow. Alright. Opponent has options. Boo. Boo. That was poor. Give that like a a 4 out of 10 on the shadow punometer. Patent pending. Aria Flame, the shadow removal spell. Aria Flame can be a nightmare sometimes. Alright, so we are 1-0. See what we got for match number 2. Alright, this is the dream, right? Double Stitcher Supplier opening. This is what we live for. So, there's no reason to bobble myself. Because if I see something I like, I can't draw it any turn if I'm playing, or anyway if I'm playing Stitcher Supplier. Is it another storm? Oh, Prowess, dang. I liked it better when I thought this was going to be storm. Don't think we have a basic mountain in here. Oh, we do. Sweet. They ditch the free lava dart. Opponent, you madmen. Do they have the mountain? They could go like mountain, float a red, flashback dart, kill the supplier, play Stormwing. Snap block. Alright, we've been a little better earlier, but it's okay. It's okay. Scourge is not looking quite at their best right here. But if we can find a land, maybe we can get back Croxa next turn. Ooh, opponent. Don't go for our face. Go for this innocent little Stitcher Supplier. I'll give 2 subs if you kill someone with a Battle Rage Stitcher Supplier. Alright, the challenge has been issued. Ew. Not quite dead, but we're basically dead. Going out of 2, yeah. We'll just go to game 2. You can see like a damping sphere. I don't think I want many of them. Something like that. Give you the whole league to do it. Oh, it probably wasn't happening in this matchup. Probably be chumping with hexes there too. Probably. Like, that was just a really good hand out of them. That was like turn 3, put us down to 2. Nope. Alright, this is a good hand. You want to ditch Inquisition? I think so. I think we're going like turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Goyf, turn 3 like either Bolt a Stormwing or play a Scourge. The Supplier has come. It's actually a funny draw because now if they like spend both of their spells killing Goyf, like we do get to hit them for 1 and play a Scourge if we want. Alright. They did not draw into the Stormwing there. Do have a Sprite Dragon coming off the top. Vapor Snags. That's a good one on our side. Solid draw for the home team, if you will. Make them start committing some spells one way or the other. Yeah, opponent, we can also cast instants inside of combat. What you gonna do? Relic of Progenitus. I appreciate opponents' commitment to the cause. So they could Burst Lightning the Goyf and then Relic to kill it. If ever there were a game to TBR and Supplier someone out of the game, here it is. I don't know if this is gonna be the one. Like, Battle Rage on Supplier right here. Is that lethal? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So TBR Supplier is 1 short of lethal right here. How do they scry? Bottom. Alright. I think I'm just gonna hold up trophy here. Cobra first. I'm not planning on casting Brutality here. Drain wasn't a kill. Drain would have made Scourge smaller. Because I would have gone up to 10 life. This would have shrunk down. Or whatever I was at, it would have shrunk down the Scourge. Like, it wouldn't have grown Tarmogoyf. They would have lost 2. Scourge would have gotten 2 smaller. Oh, was he at 13? I thought I was at the higher life total. Whoops. If I was at the lower life total, then yeah, Drain would have been correct. I thought I was higher. My bad. I didn't even, like, pay attention to my life total until after somebody said that. Good call, then. Good call. This is... I think a keep, but not like a thrilling keep. Kind of like a B- keep. Yep. That makes it better. Mutagenic growth. I don't much care for mutagenic growth. Don't much care for a lot of these. Alright, so I'm not getting Blood Mooned next turn. I think it's between Blood Moon and Light Up the Stage. If I had a way to get basic Swamp, I would 100% take Light Up the Stage here and just say, like, Tarmogoyf, Abrupt Decay, or Assassin's Trophy, or you're dead this game. But I think it does, unfortunately, have to be Blood Moon. Should have taken the other one. I guess I could have waited to see what I drew into. Or not waited to see, but assumed I was going to draw into a black fetch. And taken something else. But here we are. So I assume Swift Spears, second main phase, Light Up the Stage. So they're gonna mutagenic. Seems slightly ambitious. Alright, so they've got 4 points of burn sitting around. Drawing into Soul Scar. They don't have a third land, so I could go Land Scourge. I could go Land Goyf. Land Sphere means I could only cast one spell. Is it just fetch land Shadow? Alright, so let's think. I could fetch Shock Shadow. I go to 7. They've got 4 known points of burn. I could basic land Scourge. If they attack in with both, I block. They double Burst Lightning Scourge. Get it off the board. It's not the worst thing in the world. I trade with a Swift Spear and I get to play a Shadow afterwards and hold up Bolt. I play Tarmogoyf. They play Relic, crack it, and they just get like a free attack in because I can't block. So it's either Shadow or Scourge. If I play Shadow, I think I have to play the fetch land. Like, I could play the mountain. If they go to double Burst Lightning my Shadow, I can bolt myself. I go to 7, they can attack me for 3, put me down to 4. So I think it's just play Scourge. If they crack it, they can't cast lightning if they don't draw a land. Right, but I think there's like no reason... Never mind, what do I know? I was gonna say, I think there's like no reason to play Relic here. If you don't know there's like another land on top or something. So I feel like that line just doesn't accomplish very much. So I could fetch a swamp, Thoughtseize. That puts me 7, 5. Be like Thoughtseize, play Shadow, hold up Bolt. I can Thoughtseize away Burst Lightning, play Shadow, have Bolt, and put them on double Abyss mode. And they have to rip like double burn spell off the top. I could play Shadow plus Goyf here. I think I like Thoughtseize, think I like, yeah, Thoughtseize Shadow Bolt. Shadow plus Fear seems decent. It's not bad. Alright, we can do Shadow plus Fear. Does save me from snag, but it'd have to be like a blind snag off the top. Thoughtseize wouldn't make me dead to a bolt, because I can Thoughtseize the Burst Lightning, play the Shadow, bolt one of these. So now I'm attacking with both. They have to block with both, or they die to me bolting myself. Do they die to me bolting myself? They go to 7. I bolt myself. This goes to a 9. So I'm not dead to Burst Lightning. I'm dead if their last unknown card is exactly Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt or Vapor Snag. Yeah, to bolt them. Music's as great as always. So this beats Burst Lightning. Still doesn't beat Lightning Bolt the Shadow, but if they had Lightning Bolt the Shadow, we could have just played Tarmogoyf. Alright. 2-0, on to match 3. I don't know if I'm supposed to put these results under under Jun Shadow or under like a new column. I wanted to take a look at some of the new spoilers at some point. I don't know if anybody's seen some sweet stuff yet. Exile target mono-colored permanent. That's pretty cool. Copy a creature, except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. Oh, copy a creature spell, not a creature permanent. Interesting. Here's our match. Lots of sweet stuff so far. It looks like it. I haven't looked as close at it as I would like, but I see a lot of stuff that was spoiled in the last couple of days. It's like 2 and 3 CMC, and that's where you really start getting into like modern playable, and I like that idea. Alright, this looks like the kind of hand that just wants to flip over a Kroxa. See, bench, I have a new idea a while ago. As a Heliod tech, I might try it first before saying what card it is. Can you give any kind of clue to it? Or is that giving away too much information? Alright, turn 1 Blind Bajuka Bog, so I assume Amulet Titan. Which could make Stitcher's Supplier look weird. But like, Hex Drinker's not really great in this matchup anyway, so I guess whatever we're doing on turn 1 doesn't really matter. Uh-oh. Alright, opponent. We're gonna hope you can't kill us this next turn. So if I go Shockin', Stomping Ground, Bolt myself, play a Shadow, I can hold up Wooded Foothills in case they have a Dryad. If they have Bounce Land Titan, nothing I can do about it. So I think we're just going for the high upside, getting Shadow down. I think keeping a hand off of double Amulet is reasonable. So it's kind of like if they have the Titan 2 plus the double Amulet, I probably wasn't beating that hand anyway. I think the spots where Supplier will hurt the most are drawing it on turn 7 rather than playing it versus Hex on turn 1. That's fair. I would be pretty inclined to agree with that sentiment. So this, I think, is a mistake. If they get Teleria West, second Simic Growth Chamber, then they can transmute for Dryad, play Dryad, play Growth Chamber again, attack with Titan, and be able to get Valakut plus another land and have it active. Now we get to make our opponent know Shadow Combat math. Clues I thought was nice for turn 1, Hex Parasite, or Hex Drinker, which might be able to kill Auriok Champion and Heliod. Alright, opponent, show me you know what you're doing. That's not correct so far. Woof. That's a swing and a miss, opponent. Okay. So, quick learning opportunity for the channel if anybody needs to know. Opponent's got a 10-10 double striking Primeval Titan, or 10-7, whatever it is, 10-6. 10-6 double striking Titan with trample, blah, 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 blah. We've got a 1-1 Shadow. If you take the difference between the amount they're assigning to trample, cut it in half, round up, that's how much you need to deal to the Shadow. So, for instance, they were dealing 9 trample there. If they take half of that, 4.5, round it up to 5, assign 5 damage to the Shadow, 4 damage to us, we go down to, what, 7 at the time? Shadow is a 1-1. We go down to 8. Shadow becomes a 5-5. They're assigning 6 damage to it. Shadow dies to first strike. They kill us with the normal strike. Never do more damage on the guy than the Shadow. Usually, there's like situations where you can kind of get away with it, but they're not normal. So I certainly wouldn't play into them too terribly much. Kami redeemed hydrate. I keep forgetting to refill my water. Nobody reminds me. Somebody yell at me after the game. But yeah, that's not the first time my Amulet opponent has messed up combat math. I'm sure it won't be the last time. Drink, damn you. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Explore. So I've got a Dryad covered if they play one next turn, so I think I'm just going to Supplier here. If they explore, it like gives them another chance to hit a Titan, and I'd rather take that. Delicate, sure. Explore, you got it. Second explore. Second explore plus Garen Brigg. Alright. The Amulet deck is really good at drawing their namesake card. Alright. Let's actually start with Bauble. See what's coming off the top for them. Our Boreal Grazer. That's going to stonewall our Stitcher Supplier pretty hard. So we get to take Dryad and Engineered Explosives. Despite our opponent's best efforts, we're not going to take this this Obstinate Baloth. Probably should. That is a 4/4. It can hit us in the face pretty hard. But I just feel like at the moment we can't afford to take that one. Gotta love a good Baloth. I'm 100% expecting them to hard cast this Baloth here, so like we're gonna get to Croxa and they're not gonna get a free discard. They're actually probably gonna take 3 for their troubles. We're actually going to get to make them discard a land. Oh, are they going to not discard the land? Deal. Here's a Crow's. Imagine having double Amulet plus Titan and losing. Literally can't. He never drinks anymore. Nobody reminds me to drink. If somebody would just say, hey, you said you were going to refill your water like 4 turns ago. You need to do that. Actually, you know what? You guys are bullying me. I'm going to refill my water. Apparently I was muted. Sorry. Chuck, thank you for the 20 bits. Water gets expensive around these parts with all these redemptions. So I greatly appreciate it. All there is the music. Well, that's all everybody actually came for. Nobody came to listen to me. So if I dismember, I'm taking 4 going to 7, 5 going to 6. So I am just dead if I dismember, so we will pack it up here. Tighten off the top. Oh sure, we're the bad guys for carrying. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Y'all are terrible people for making sure my my water levels are up to par. I don't think I have the picture anymore, but I had a match against Amulet Titan the other day where I played out a damping sphere and they just kind of like kept casting bounce lands into it or playing bounce lands into it and finally just scooped because they took themselves off of green mana. I was like, alright. Good talk. Show me the turn 1 Amulet 3 games in a row. I know you can do it. It's not an Amulet. Think I won't attack into that? I think for a second I won't attack into that. You think with all of these lands available that I'm not going to attack into a plant token? Alright, so I think I am... Am I playing Croaks or Damping Sphere? Like, it doesn't really matter in terms of when I'm getting back croaks. If they go Amulet, Bounce Land, Explore, that's probably fine. Like, I don't really mind them getting a Bounce Land on the board here. Just then Damping Sphere just, like, kind of shuts it off. Discard a Summoner's Pact. Okay, then. Tarmagoofer. See anything getting changed here? Is there any reason I would rather play the Goyf? If they go land, Dryad, second land, what does that mean for me? Like, if they go Amulet, Bounce Land, Dryad, I'd rather have the Damping Sphere down. If they don't have the Amulet, I'd rather have the Tarmogoyf down. So I think I'm just going to go Tarmogoyf. We'll see if that comes back to bite me. Crack in. Now, am I playing Damping Sphere because they played Boros Garrison? I think so. This way they can't Titan next turn. Alright, Fatal Push, best draw. Almost. They've got land instant, so I could go land, 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 artifact instant. Land, 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 artifact, instant. They're about to put this Baloth in for free. Oh, nope. I'm playing around the bolt. Nice. So if they have the Titan, I'm pretty dead. Maybe they're hesitating because I'm representing Fatal Push. But if they have Titan, they can just go like Valakut upstairs, play Titan, get another Valakut. But I guess if they do that and I do have Fatal Push, like they're probably just dead. Yep. So there is the second Valakut. They in fact gonna point them all at me? They are. Make my opponent sweat a little bit. Alright. So that one was like typical Jund Shadow versus bigger mana. Like, Scourge always looks really bad in those matchups. Your clock's just like not as quick as something like Grixis when it sees a threat. So overall, not terrible showing. But definitely not the strongest either. But I don't think Stitcher Supplier really played a part in that loss. Like, Hexdrinker wouldn't have been good there either. So, kind of fine. Alright, what do we got? Kind of like trying to glance at these Strixhaven spoilers. I know I've heard Steven and a bunch of people talking about red-white Prowess looking like it could be a real thing after these, or after the set releases. I love that there's a card literally called Square Up. Make something a 4/4. Alright. So we're going to bobble our opponent first. See if this is like, if we can get information on whether this is a matchup where we need to like bolt into Scourge or play Stitcher Supplier or what. So Aether Vial off the top. Means I'm probably going to go bolt them into Scourge. Nah, let's just play Inquisition. Are we playing Inquisition? Are we just playing Stitcher Supplier? Get them online packs? Sure. I guess if their turn 1 is like stuck being Aether Vial, then we kind of get to Stitcher Supplier, not for free, but just get it down. So it looks pretty taxy to me so far. Let's get our fetch out of the way. Oh, it's humans. Sweet. Guess more like sweet as in I haven't seen this deck in forever. Do I want to trade Scourge for their board? I think I'm okay with that. Swapping teams. Sorry, Mike. Understandable. Understandable. Have you ever, like, really hoped your opponent plays a Manus Rider off the top and attacks you, and that's their turn? So that's kind of me right now. Just, come on, Manus Rider. Alright, this is fine. Opponent, if you attack me, you're probably dead. I say probably. You're, like, pretty assuredly dead. Smart choice. Let's see. So I know Thoughtseize isn't hitting anything, but is that fine? Guess we can just like attack with Scourge only. Humans in this economy. Humans in the year of our Lord 2021. What blasphemy is this? Opponent is clearly getting a stern letter from the Pope after this one. Qualifier points on Magic Online actually expire. They do. There's like a set schedule and it tells you what it is somewhere, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. But they'll have like a whole bunch of like PTQs and stuff the weekend before they rotate. It's like at the end of the season. So you'll see like League ends in 12 days. So they probably expire like not this weekend, but like right after next weekend. which is why you'll see like a bunch of super qualifiers this weekend and challenges and stuff like that. So that's my guess. I don't know for sure that that's the day they expire, but I think it's a reasonable assumption. Alright, so let's board out some Unearths, Thoughtseize. Anything else? Not really. Let's roll with it. Seems like you haven't been getting that many Croxa hits. I've been escaping one most games. I think most of the matchups that I've played against, like, I haven't really wanted Croxa because I either didn't want to tap out on turn 4 against, like, Storm, or it was too slow against Amulet, too slow against Prowess, and now Humans. Like, this is probably the matchup it's the best against. So, I mean, like, yes, I haven't been seeing a lot of Croxas, but I don't know if that's necessarily been a bad thing this league. Don't value me, bro. What did I say? I said one thing. I guess that means this is just a Scourge here. Bold. I like it. All right. So I know I'm attacking with Scourge. Got to think about my follow-up here. Like, do I want to follow up with Inquisition, second Stitcher Supplier? Do I want to follow up with Dismember? If they take this, there's a good chance that this Scourge is going to, like, have them on Abyss mode for the rest of the game. So that is something worth considering. So take this, go down to 12. If they have to tap their canopies, they're going down to 10. And then Scourge is just a 10-10. Kind of like that block out of them. So what about Inquisition plus second Supplier? Take Bugler. Yeah. So their hand is Confidant, Freebooter. Let's block here. We'll take the 2 off Thalia. Crackback. Yep. So if they have to cast anything, then Scourge is on Abyss mode. All right. So they are dead. Let's go Fatal Push, Thalia. All right. Humans is a buy. Who thought that deck was playable? Good games, man. It's just not a good matchup anymore. Yeah, like, now that the Shadow Scourge decks are running like 4 bolts, 3 or 4 pushes, not running like Gurmag Anglers to where Reflector Mage is such a blowout. What else? Stubborn Denial not being a dead card. Street Wraith for the extra life loss unnecessarily. Like, it's a whole bunch that's kind of pushed it towards the Shadow favor. It's not playable. I have Bobs in the deck and Buglers. I mean, Bob's great. I love me some Bob. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how good Bugler is. I have played all of like 3 leagues with humans ever. But I figured without like the unfair matchups in the format, humans took a big hit. Now that like Thalia and Meddling Mage and stuff like that aren't nearly as impactful as they used to be. This is definitely a bolt them hand to get a Scourge. I would like to see our opponent Fetch, Shock, Thoughtseize, take a Scourge. We're doing it. I will absolutely turn 1, unearth a Scourge. Let me do it. It's not quite the Fetch, Shock part, but we'll take it. Like, not having a companion is rough, but it's not, like, end of the world rough, I guess. Alright, opponent, just don't have, like, Fetch, Shock, Lightning Bolt your Scourge. You can Fatal Push it. I'll allow it. You stop that. Alright, we're going to take the one that kills our guy. Now, do we put our opponent... I guess we can't put him on too much of a clock. I could bolt myself, hit them for 6. Puts them down to 8. Scourge is lethal next turn if they don't find a removal spell. But any red land lets them play Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't care about Kroxa. Otherwise, I'm hitting them for 5, hitting them for another 5 next turn. I think I'm bolting myself. I think I'm saying you have to draw a red land or a removal spell. Alright. Good call. So Veil's coming in. Trophy's okay. Boarding out some Inquisitions. I guess I'll leave in the second Inquisition. Just board out the Battle Rages. Do I want Leyline here? This is like the kind of matchup where I would much rather have Spellbomb than Leyline. I really don't want to board in Leyline just for Kroxa. And I definitely don't want to board in 4 of them. It's so common that Scourge kills in 2 attacks. It really is. Like, there's a lot of random lines where you just get to say, like, bolt my opponent. Now Scourge is a 2-turn clock. Or play Scourge out as, like, a 4-4. Opponent's at 16. You're like, alright, bolt you, Scourge becomes a 7-7, attack for 7, put you down to 6. Now I've got a lethal Scourge. What you got? Or like any Goyf Shadow Scourge off the top is lethal. What do I think about this? Turn 1 Supplier, turn 2 Kroxa, turn 3 Luris to hand, turn 4 get back Kroxa. Is that good enough? I guess we'll find out. The upside, I think, is the fact that if we do get to Kroxa, between it, Stitcher Supplier, our triple fetch land start, like, we've got a really good chance of just being able to get it back twice. And I'm kind of hoping that'll be enough. Stitcher Supplier kind of works to hedge against Liliana the Veil. Now they just don't get a free sack. So I could go Blood Crypt, Bolt the Ooze, or I guess I'm fetching. Maybe fetch up Mountain, Bolt the Ooze, Unearth the Scourge after I've attacked for 1. That's probably fine. So, Mountain, Bolt the Scoos. Attack for 1. Unearth the Scourge. I'm excited with the instance spoiled today that deals with Heliod. Unfortunately, the card is white. What card is that? you have a link to it? Oh, my Scourge, you got it. So I'll just spend this turn adding Lurrus to my hand. White-black instant exile target monocolor permanent. I got you. Yeah, we saw that one earlier, and I mentioned it being pretty cool. It seems like in the last day or two, they've spoiled a lot of like 2-3 mana spells, and I'm definitely going to go through and take a close look at all of those, because like that's where your bread and butter is with a lot of these low to the ground aggro mid-rangey decks in Modern. Alright, now we've got options. Opponent missed their 4th land drop. So what do we think about just attack Ren, Goyf plus Shadow? I don't hate that. Like Goyf Shadow, hold up Fatal Push. Alright. So Goyf, Shadow, Seiko. We could have a Fatal Push here. Yep. Got a Blood Braid. Blood Braid into Goyf, you got it. Let's go ahead and be mana efficient. Guess we're just getting back Kroxa here. Let's get land, sorcery, instant. Need another. We're just getting Goyf, it's like the smallest thing available. Alright, they got instant, we can get instant too. See, if it's white, there's a lot of white cards that deal with Heliod. That's true. I haven't been impressed with like the white variants of Shadow. I think they're cool, but I don't think they're ever like as consistent as I want them to be. Not as consistent, not as explosive. and nothing really feels like it's got enough punch to it. Like, I hate Ranger Captain of Eos. I think that card is so eh. Back Croxa. Seems pretty good into our Luris. Alright, so I can attack Shadow and Croxa. So I've got the ability to bolt myself. I guess I should have... If I had read them for having another land in hand, I would attack with... Stitcher Supplier as well. Yeah, we definitely should have attacked with everything, but I was just thinking that they had a free pitch to Croxa, and that this 1 point wasn't going to do enough this game. So yeah, it was a bad attack on my part. Bad attack on my part. Should have thought it through more. Yep. So they've got two cards, one of which we know is a land. So this has got to be double chump. Oh man. Maelstrom Pulse into second season Pyromancer. Alright. So this is lethal. We get to attack with Kroxa. Make them discard their last card. They block. We fatal push our Kroxa. Escape it again. Almost threw that away. Almost straight threw that one away. Alright. So what do we think about that one? As for Stitcher Supplier, I don't think it was... there were no times that Supplier was bad that Hex Drinker wouldn't have also been bad. I think there were some times that Supplier was okay at best, but I think Hex Drinker still would have been better. Like Supplier, there were multiple times that league where Supplier, the best thing that it did was attack our opponent for 1 to try to get a Scourge online turn 2. And I don't think that's enough out of the card. Like Jad saying, I think the third Kroxa probably would make a difference. But I also think we would have to play against, like, a more fair meta to want the third Kroxa. Because, like, a 6/6 that you don't get online until turn 4 in a Shadow deck is a really big drawback. Not that I think it's necessarily enough of a drawback to not want to try it out more, but I think that is like a big consideration. Because if you're playing Stitcher Supplier, like, you don't want to naturally draw your Kroxa, right? You want to flip them over for the free Supplier value. Other than that, like, Scourge still looks so awkward so often to me. Like, there's so many games where I just want Scourge to be like a vanilla 3/3 that I can play out on turn 2, but instead I've got this Scourge in hand that's like not doing a whole lot. But, I mean, we did see like Tron, Amulet, stuff like that. I think Kroxa is just super broken, and I know I'm in the minority on that. I don't think you're in the minority. Like, it's really good. It's no Uro, that's for sure, and I think everybody can agree on that one. My personal opinion is that I think it's like an average modern card in general, and exceptionally good in like the mid-range grindy matchups. So your floor is like an average card. Your ceiling is, this is fantastic. But other than that, the unearths were pretty cool. Like, we got to unearth a Scourge. I think we unearthed the Scourge twice, and those were the only times we saw unearth. So it always had targets. Could you say you'd even want Stoneforge over Scourge in the 2-drop slot? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm going to have to take a rain check. In the sideboard, Leyline was a little awkward. We didn't bring it in a single time. I think against Jund, we would have liked Spell Bomb. But obviously, Leyline's going to be more impactful against, like, the degenerate graveyard decks. I think it comes down to a matter of personal preference. Like, I've never felt a need to play Leyline because I felt like I was doing okay against Dredge, but we didn't really get to show that out today, so I can't say that's for sure the correct answer or not. Third Damping Spheres felt good. Felt like I saw it in the matchups I wanted to see it. Just say yes, Michael. I admit to nothing. I will never admit to anything. I've never been wrong a day in my life. Basically, I think that a build like this has potential if the meta moves towards a more fair mid-range mirror match meta. But I think as long as there's like Tron and Amulet and decks like that making up like a significant portion of the meta, I would rather be on a variant of Shadow that's moving quicker. If that makes sense. So either like Swift Spears, Hex Drinker, something to just get the clock moving a little bit more aggressively. But Deft, if you're having success with it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend continuing to test it out and get more data. I will never tell somebody that they need to like stop giving something a shot if it's working for them, or like try to make a meta call that doesn't fit their playstyle. But other than that, I think we're going to call it there. I'm going to send everybody over to Major Riot, who's currently playing some Jund, like actual Jund mid-range. So feel free to stick around if you want to check that out. Otherwise, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. If you're not already, feel free to hit the follow button. Just lets you know whenever we go live, so you can come check out some Shadow action.